let me give you a quick tour of the bike. So here is how it looks from the rear. It has got this floating tail section. I do not think it's really gonna help you much when there's mud and dirt and slush, so it's gonna throw dust and mud onto you from behind, and as you can see, it's clearly visible. The lights are same. Indicators have been integrated into the tail light, or whatever you call it, vice versa. The exhaust muffler is exactly the same as Himalayans. It looks good on this bike as well. This color scheme is flashy, but for the people looking out for such a color scheme, they're gonna really like it. If you look at the tire profile, man, that is the catch, that is the highlight. It's a 160 section Seat has developed specially for this bike, and it definitely looks the part. It looks brilliant, very nice, looks very meaty, looks very big, looks very sporty, performance inspiring. Now if we come to the front, this specific model has got a headlight grille. I do not know if that comes standard or it is an accessory. So the bike looks nice. The Guerrilla, it looks very funky the way it has been written. Royal Enfield logo, it's a 3D emblem. The bike's tank, in terms of looks, it has been done very nicely. I personally wanted this thing, this piece, this element to continue and merge with this section of the bike, which hasn't happened really. The suspension is right in the center. It's not an offset type suspension, because I believe they had enough space for the airbox to fit in, right? The front is a 120 section tire. The bike looks nice. The headlight is exactly carried on from a Himalayan, and it looks great. Coming on to the dash, you have got a charging port here. It sort of looks like an aftermarket thing, but it does come fitted with the bike. The quality of the switch gear, you get the same switch gear in any of the 650s of the Royal Enfield nowadays. You get the same instrument cluster from the Himalayan in the top variant, and I guess even in the middle variant. In the lower variant, you get the same as the Meteor 350s, which was a part digital, part analog kind of system. After riding it, I do not really feel the need for this bike to have had an upside down type of suspension. It has a very conventional telescopic front with the gated covers, and it looks nice. We've got accents of matching with paint on the tire. They are decals, what you'd say. So it's got golden and red. It might look flashy in the pictures and the video, but the bike actually looks nice in this color scheme personally. Quality control is not that great. As you can see, the fit, I mean, they have tried their best to cover the wires, the exposed wiring, so they've added these pieces of plastic, but the quality is still a compromise. I mean, you can see they have very neatly hidden all the stuff underneath the plastic panels, so you do not have any exposed wires. I'm really very skeptical about the exposed radiator, so it does not have any sort of protection. Concerns me if the bike takes a fall, so that is one thing to keep in mind. They've got an bash plate at the bottom, and it's nice, it looks good. It won't protect your exhaust pipe, but it definitely will protect some part of your engine from bashing against whatever you face on the road. So that is pretty much it. I think I've talked enough about the bike. Okay, so here is the bike, and we're gonna have our first hands-on on the Guerrilla. The 780mm allows me to keep both of my feet down at the same time, and that is an added comfort for shorter people like me. Let's fire this thing up. It idles at somewhere around 15 100 RPMs. Revy, definitely the engine is revy and the throttle response is very nice. Okay, well, it's responsive, man. This will pop a wheelie the moment you want it to. So hooligan bike, I must say that, and let me tell you, this thing is a hooligan bike and this will give you the fun. I went to Sector 14 Aman Automobile, and the RE people at the showroom were really very sweet and very cooperative and very welcoming. Throttle response is very urgent. The moment you hit it, it'll go and it'll disappear into nothingness. I am amazed, I'm surprised, and I'm impressed. That is one thing. Let's see how it filters through traffic and aggressively. I am somebody who rides an NS200, and nobody else but I would know what and how to speak about the agility, chassis behavior. So these are the things that I am qualified to talk about. I'll take a U-turn from here. The tank doesn't have that much of fuel, so it is vibrating. And yeah, even after the tank is filled with fuel, I am pretty damn sure that it is going to have some vibrations. But there are vibes everywhere. It's not like there's no feeling of vibration on the handlebars or the seats or the foot pegs. So the vibes are there, and they're everywhere. Okay, I took a jump, man. not suggested, but it's doing it brilliantly. Let me tell you this, it's doing it really nice. Let me take the bike in some traffic. I know this might end up being an act of stupidity, but I will still try. I gotta test out the bike for you guys, man. Okay, so this is one thing that I'm noticing. Before the bike hits 2500 or 3000 RPM, the throttle delivery is not very urgent. It does not push you back. It has been programmed that way that it will be very calm, so you can easily maneuver the bike without the bike taking you by surprise, pushing you back in the seat. This is way different from Himalayan. Do not confuse it with the Himalayan. The sitting position is very upright, it's very natural. The bars come to you, and it's a nice experience. I mean, you're very comfortably sitting. I just have to reach out to the handlebar a little bit. I just have to lean a little very tad bit forward. Anyway, so the bike is really good. Talking about the sitting position, it's very natural, it's comfortable. The seat is nice. For my height, again, I would say I will find it really comfortable. I find it very accommodating. I am not cramped up at all. As far as the tractability, I'm finding in the higher gears and in the lower RPMs. Right, let's see. Sixth gear. The bike is having a bit of a hard time, but yeah, it's doing, and it's doing the job well. From fifth, you can pick the bike up, so that is not an issue. All the torque is showing, all the power is showing. Let's talk about braking. I'll just speed up and then we'll try braking. Braking is really good, as it was on the Himalayan as well, so not surprised. And flicking this thing around, talking about flicking this thing around, it is an absolute ease. Not a challenge, I would say. Not a challenge at all. It's very comfortable to flick this bike around in the traffic or wherever you say. Never an issue. Let's show you. This doesn't feel, and I see people highlighting this fact in their reviews, that the bike weighs 181 kilograms or somewhere. I'm not so sure. I think it's 185. Forgive me. So the Himalayan is 196 kgs and this is just 185 kgs, and 185 for a Roadster is still heavy. But I'll tell you one thing, and this thing you need to keep in mind: the quality levels. I can see that. Do you see this? This is not symmetrical. This is sort of leaning, this panel sort of leaning in towards the right, so you know what I mean. It will never be able to match the level of our very own Triumph, right? So the best it can do is this, and this is not bad at all. I won't call it bad by any means, but you just can't compare it to Triumph. The power, performance, chassis, maneuverability, handling, in all those terms, I say it is very much comparable to a Triumph, very much. And the thing that will go in the favor of this bike is that it is a substantially bigger bike. And what do we Indians need? So if we are spending our money on a bike like this, we won't go around nitpicking for tiny details. Instead, the very first thing that we would want is our bikes to be substantial, to be big, to be flashy. I mean, Indians want big things. If they're spending the money on something, they want their bikes to be big. This will definitely catch the eye of all those young men wanting some power in their hands. And let's see. Good turning radius, man. Very easy, very nice. I like it, love it in fact. And a very nice bike. I'm so damn confident, man. Mind you, the Speed 400 has a weight advantage, which this thing clearly lacks. It's a 185 kg bike. I do not really know about the top speeds, how the top speeds are going to be on this bike, but the kind of acceleration this bike is giving me, the kind of speeds I hit, I already did. I think I hit close to 120 something. I'm not sure. I did not look at the speedo. So let me make it very clear to you guys. This thing is an absolute beast of a competition to the Triumph Speed 400, because in terms of performance, if not better, it is definitely comparable. Definitely comparable. And I'm loving it. I find it pretty much as exciting as the Speed 400 or even more. The exhaust note, I don't like either of the exhaust notes, to be very honest, while riding or even at the idle. I do not find anything special about either of the two. But if you would ask me which one's better, then I'd say this one, because this is still a tad bit throaty exhaust note this thing has got. I've kept revving it throughout the ride, and happy to report I do feel a very tad bit of heat being thrown onto my right leg, but it's nothing which is gonna bother you that much, because that is something you expect from a 400cc motorbike. And even in this hot and very humid conditions, I didn't really notice if the fan has kicked in and cooled the bike down, cooled the engine down. I do not know that. This is gonna pull a great deal of new people to the Royal Enfield family. A great new audience is gonna come to Royal Enfield. This bike is gonna be a very big game changer, and I love it. That is how I'd like to end my review. And if you have any questions regarding anything that I might not have spoken about the bike, I definitely have experienced it. So you can write down in the comments and I will reply to all your questions. All the questions will be answered as and when you ask of me.